No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
They say you should learn something new every day. Like how you should only drink Jägermeister at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, ice cold. Like those frozen cavemen they find, which makes you wonder, what would a caveman think of Jägermeister? Well, if you served it warm, he'd probably throw it in your face, say, "Unga boonga," and storm off. And nobody wants that. So drink it cold or not at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S., White Plains, New York.
Amazon presents Jeff versus Taco Truck Salsa. Whether it's Verde, Roja, or the orange one. For Jeff, trying any salsa is like playing Russian roulette with a flamethrower. Luckily, Jeff saved with Amazon and stocked up on antacids, ginger tea, and milk. Habanero? More like habanero, yes. Save the everyday with Amazon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Achtung Millwall. Broadcasting from beautiful South Bermondsey, it's the #1 Millwall podcast. Accept no substitute.
Well, once more into the breach, dear friends. Once more, I'll close up the wall with our Lions' missed promotion opportunities. I'm paraphrasing Shakespeare, dear listeners. Welcome to Achtung Millwall on a beautiful early summer's morning, still morning just about, here at the Den, ahead of this afternoon's potentially historic fixture. I say potentially because obviously a huge amount depends on what Queen's Park Rangers may or more probably may not do at Ipswich's Portman Road this afternoon. But if the football gods are smiling upon us up there on top of the Selchip Power Station on the roof, they smile upon the Lions a win this afternoon, and Ipswich dropping points. All we need is a draw from QPR, and that sends us into the promised land, the Premier League automatically. Can you imagine that? Worst case scenario is, of course, that we are into playoff football. We're probably in third position, presuming maybe a lot of presumption in that we're going to beat Oxford United this afternoon, dear listeners. Your Millwall side, this massive fixture, sellout fixture here at the Den. Your Lions this afternoon. In goal, Anthony Patterson. Back line, probably as expected, Ryan Leonard, Tristan Kramer, Jake Cooper and Zach Sturge. Midfield 2, in comes Barry Bannon. Surprisingly, I don't know, haven't seen enough of him, so maybe a game where we can use his artistry to carve out some goal-scoring opportunities alongside Casper Denor. In front of those, you have the attacking three, Camille Negley in the middle, Afremi Aziz and Tierno Ballo either side of him. Up front this afternoon is the big Serb, Mihailo Ivanovic. On the bench, Max Croak and Danny Mack, Billy Mitchell, Alfie Doughty, two returning heroes. We may see them at some stage in the game, depending on the situation. Macaulay Langstaff, score of that late goal up there at Leicester. Tommy Watson, Luke Cundall, Will Smallbone and Derek Mazusaku. And like I say, massive afternoon. It's a sellout. Then I'm sitting in the stadium ahead of what I really hope will be a wonderful afternoon's entertainment. Let's see how it goes. We'll be back when the teams are entering the pitch, dear listeners. Well, the teams are in the tunnel, dear listeners. It is a pre-match frenzy here, I can tell you that much. Huge John Berylson Millwall Forever flag over in the Docker stand over opposite from where I am in Birdship Corner. A full house, as we've said already on this show. And the atmosphere is building. We already had two Wall of Sound chants, Monk chants, whatever you like to call it. And the equation obviously is quite simple in many respects. It does, of course, favour Ipswich, whether we like it or not. They will be promoted if they win this afternoon. A draw will be enough for us if we can beat Oxford. They drop points. Fundamentally, we need QPR to do something at Portman Road for us this afternoon. Whether they will do or not, I don't know. I don't like to depend on Queen's Park Rangers myself in this life, dear listeners. You can hear the crowd. It's an immense atmosphere. What a moment, what a crescendo to the season. Worst case scenario is we're into playoff football, which will be either next Friday or Monday, depending on where we finish in the league position. I think this Friday, Saturday, Monday and Tuesday, I think, of this week, be next Friday. So that's the worst case scenario, which is in itself a historic achievement. This is the first time in 25 years we've come anywhere close to this level of playoff. And we have an outside chance. I think I'm going to say before proceeding start, this is an outsider's puncher's shot if QPR can do something. Who knows? It is a beautiful afternoon. The crowd is full. The pitch is looking like a billiard table out. There's been a huge amount of hoo-ha online about people not going onto the pitch, which I fully indulge. Obviously, if there's a playoff game, we're going to need the pitch in our best possible condition. Here come the two teams. Oxford this afternoon are wearing a light blue and white ensemble. Lions, of course, will be in dark blue and white. We've got a clash between Oxford and Cambridge in the University boat race, I believe. Light blues versus I don't know. What do I know about University life? Listeners, I never went. My daughter did, I didn't. For a kind of festival, carnival atmosphere in here, listeners. I can't imagine what it's going to be like if this sequence of events that we hope and pray for comes off. I think we've all been disappointed too many times. I'm an old cynic. I've been let down so many times. I can remember situations, the Blackburn game most recently. I can remember other moments where we've come close and it just faded away at the last. Whether this can pull off today, it's not in our hands, so we wait and see. They've got the extra verse in there. They've got a slightly extended club remix version playing. It's caught a lot of people out. Who knew that Roy Green did a club remix, long play edition? I didn't. Player of the season, Jake Cooper, meeting with the Oxford Caps in the centre circle. Pre-match coin toss. Thank you, JB. John Barrison there with his famous Nixonian stance across a US flag, stars and stripes. Millwall forever, says the flag. Not much I can say to this, listeners, is there? An early goal will do me just fine amidst all this frenzy, listeners. Like I say, I've been round the track too many times. Too long in the tooth, haven't I? It's going to be Oxford to kick us off, attacking the cold blow, as per the teachings, instructions and indeed the writings of the Archbishop Venerable Bede, writing in 9th century Anglo-Saxon England. Millwall shall attack if ye away end in ye first half. He was very clear on that point. And that's how it's going to be this afternoon. Oxford to go towards the cold blow, Millwall attacking the away end. Away we go. I did hear that the rewiring of the den will need to take place if we do indeed win promotion to the Premier League, whether that's today or, after the playoff final, end of May. Rewiring, I presume, that's to accommodate all the equipment. You have to have the VAR nonsense and the studios. That's got to be built above the club shop, I heard. It's a couple of TV studios. It'll be a different world, listeners. Anyway, this is all running ahead of ourselves. The free kick there. Yeah, a lot of speculation on how the impact of Premier League football when it comes, if it comes, I suppose I should say, if not this season, future seasons, how it will impact the club. I personally think it will have an impact on us. I don't see how it can't. We'd be part of a money-driven global attention league, so that's not something we're used to. Anyway, let's go back to this free kick. Oxford swing it in there. That's headed up and away. I don't think we'll become a Fulham ever, or a Brentford, but it will make a difference to the club, for better and for worse. Still no Coburn. Coburn was at the player end of season awards. Nice evening, as I've said already on these shows. Coburn was there, but clearly not fit enough to take part in today's match. Yeah, Taylor was in a foot protector, with crutches, so I didn't expect to see Caleb Taylor this afternoon. I did wonder whether Coburn might take part, but I imagine the canny operator that is Alex Neil was thinking if we don't win this afternoon, then maybe he's trying to keep him back for playoff football, which he thinks is the likeliest outcome if Portman Road goes against us. Anyway, Barry Bannon to take this left side corner. In outswinger, it's towards Jake Cooper. And up and away, it's Negley on the right side. Beautiful bit of skill there. Look at that. Wow. Ball into the middle towards Ivanovic. This is Bannon again. Back and forth across the Oxford penalty area. It's away. This is Ballo. He's got Bannon with him on the left side. This is Barry Bannon now on the left side. Ball into the middle. Headed away. A little bit of early pressure, Millwall. Zach Sturge trying to find Tierno, but it's gone into touch. Nice little phase of play there by Millwall. Ball into the middle. Ooh, that was a chance. Wow. Crossing from the right side for Oxford into the striker who put it over the bar from very close range. That was an opportunity. Wow. Deflated it then if that had gone in. Negley now running down the left side. Not much support in the middle. He's got Ivanovic and Aziz in there now. This is Ballo to Negley. Just trying to overcook it there. We do keep possession. This is now Bannon to Sturge. Ball into the middle. There's header wide by Ballo from close range. 13 minutes. I don't have any reception for latest scores, unfortunately, so I don't know where Ipswich are in the scheme of things in a minute. Seems to be a flat atmosphere at the moment, so I'm guessing that Ipswich might be ahead, but that is pure speculation, dear listeners. Mr. Jake Cooper's on. Ball forward, this is Ballo. That's where Z's on the right side. Ball into the middle. Falls to Zach Sturge. Fired in. It's deflected over. 24 deflected that shot into the ground from Zach Sturge over the bar. I think that was goal bound. Going to go for another corner. Just over halfway through the first half. Best chance, has got to be said, has been to Oxford. That ball in from the right. Touched over from their strike from close range. There's a couple of Ballo headers that haven't really had power or direction on them. It's a very nervy occasion, as you can probably gather. Pressure of the situation is weighing heavy. But it remains a beautifully sun-soaked afternoon in South Bermondsey. Where else would you rather be? Big shout out, incidentally, to Jimmy Webb, who's flown over from Western Australia to be here for this one. Just saw Jimmy prior to kick-off in here in the den. Big shout out to him. And all our Australian listeners, incidentally. It's the ball in from the right side. It's going to go for a right side throw-in. A lot of people, of course, struggle to get tickets for this sold-out fixture this afternoon, listeners. This is Negley, just couldn't get past his man there on the left side. And there have been examples of resale sites selling the tickets at a huge markup. This is Oxford coming down our right while I pause on that. In fact, the club do have an official resale site called P1 Travel. They had tickets, although it was sold out when I checked the other day prior to doing my notes for this game. But they were advertising £170 a ticket. I have seen unofficial sites going for more than that for this afternoon. This is Aziz on the left side, balled across the face of the goal, unfortunately. No one in there, 26 minutes. An unofficial website, I don't know which one it was, but they had tickets in the cold blow for pushing near 400 plus quid. I wouldn't pay that personally, but I do hope the club look at the membership. There was a great interview with Mark Fairbrother. Congratulations to him for winning the Chief Exec of the Year award in the Championship. But I do think it's one area it needs to be looked at because demand clearly has outstripped supply here. I know there are plans for the stadium, but having some fairer system that rewards Millwall fans got to be the way forwards. Just takes a lot of criticism away from the club. That's not the club's fault. People are reselling their tickets at that kind of markup, but there we are. This is a throw-in for Zach Sturge down below us on the left side. He's got Bannon with him. Back to Sturge, left side crossing, deep over the heads of everyone. Just not quite clicking at the moment. This is a ball into Ballo. This is 1-2 with Aziz. Ballo. Another corner. We're losing count of the corners in this half, listeners. So right side corner, Barry Bannon, 27, going towards 28 minutes. It's a deep one. There's Jake Cooper, headed almost the line. Wow. Aziz almost got the touch on that as a header down from Jake Cooper. Blocked on the line. Great take there from Zach Sturge. Some really nice ball skills being displayed from these Millwall players this afternoon, listeners. I think that's going to be offside against Aziz. No, it isn't. Linesman's kept play going. He tried to take on 2 men there and came out on the losing side of it. We do keep possession though. This is Bannon on the left. This feels a little bit like the Leicester City game to me, listeners. Tense. And you get a sense that the first goal, if we can get it, will be crucial. Didn't work out for us up there at the King Power. Again against the relegated side with nothing to play for. This is Bannon. This is Kramer. This is Aziz on the right. Ball into the middle. Cross in front of Ivanovic and no one behind him, unfortunately. We're starting to create the chances, though, listeners. 29 minutes. Crowd respond. This is Bannon. This is Ballo. Relieved of the ball by the Oxford player. They're going to be able to break here. 17 going down the right flank. Bannon is running hard for a man of 36, is he? Shot on target and blocked. Wow. Nice break. This gives Millwall a chance to break out from defence now. This is Aziz on the right. Takes his man on. Goes past him. Checks inside. Finds Denor shot block there, listeners. 32, going towards 33 minutes. Lions are getting the ball, but we are leaving chances for Oxford on the break. A win is all the only game in town for us. Whatever goes on elsewhere, a draw doesn't do us any favours. Little back heel from Ivanovic. Ball's in the air. This falls to Sturge. Right, left side of the penalty area. Negley. Dinor. Oh, Ballo blasted it high over. Nice ball down the line. Bannon finds Negley in through his Ivanovic. He's had to take and turn. He's got a man wide right. This is Aziz just inside the penalty area now. What can he do? 1-0 Millwall! Very Aziz! Blasted in, near post. Beautiful strike, Femi Aziz. 34 minutes. Lovely ball down the line from Barry Bannon to find Negley, and then obviously the ball spreads wide right, fired in at the far right side by Femi Aziz, man of the moment. 1-0 Millwall. I can't see the replay from my vantage point. Half of it's, I'm like Albert Steptoe for all you younger listeners. The famous episode where they divide the house in two, including the TV screen. I think it was a nice pass out from Ivanovic. I'm just trying to remember the move there. There's one down the left side. It fell to Ivanovic in the middle. He spread it rightwards to Aziz, who fired in with aplomb, listeners, of course. What else do you score goals with other than aplomb? This is Kramer in defence now, as Dinor, just inside the Oxford half. Mill playing a very languid Holland 1974 style approach, listeners. This is Ballo now on the left side. He's straight offside, unfortunately. Femi Aziz, of course, third in the Player of the Season vote on the midweek awards dinner. Very nice evening. I've said it before, I shall say it again. It was a really nicely organised thing. Well worth going if you ever get the chance, listeners. It's not cheap, I know, but it's a lovely event. Well done to Big Jake Cooper, and you can see what it meant to him in that club posted video, an interview of him afterwards. It was a lovely interview with him. This is Leonard trying to put the ball into the right side, goes to a right side corner. Tristan Kramer came in number 2. So Aziz Kramer and then Jake Cooper, who passed Neil Harris's appearance record, I believe, last week. I think it was last week. So it's only the likes now, Barry Kitchener, Keith Stevens, Harry Cripps in front of him. Those are big names. The ball in for the right side. Oh, he's at the post. Cross in from the right side from Aziz. Needed a touch. It hit the post and came out. Wow. Yeah, he said it blew him away. The award blew him away after 9 years at the club. A really nice evening, nicely interviewed. The hostess was Katie Shanahan from Sky TV. I think she does work on Channel 5 and TNT and a few other channels. I think she did really well. It's not an easy thing to host 200 people who've got a few drinks inside them to keep them to order, but she did a good job. A great post there from Phil Clark, actually talking about Jake. He says Jake's connection to the club and the fans is very, very important to him. Perhaps as fans, says Phil, we often underappreciate what it means to players. I think that's correct. But I've got to say also, all of the players, we had Luke Cundall on our table, and lovely boy, lovely bloke. And I got a sense when Macaulay was just behind where I was sitting, Macaulay Langstaff. Again, lovely guy, and I got that sense from everybody that was representing the club there on Tuesday night. So well done, everyone. Well done for the club for organising it, and well done to the squad for how they conducted themselves. This is Bannon, central midfield. He's got Negley now on the left. Turns, finds Ivanovic. Shot on target, no power, unfortunately. Polite applause, though. Reminiscent of the rowing at Henley or something like that. It is rowing at Henley, they're not polo. You know what I mean. Henley Regatta, of course it's rowing. About 2 minutes into the 4. Added what's been a decent half overall, nervous half. Lions lead by that 1 goal, scored by Aziz, which has lifted a weight, but we've got a second one will be a big comfort blanket for me, listeners. I'm at the age now I need a comfort blanket. Just feels a bit slender at the moment. No idea what Ipswich are doing. I'm going to guess it's not in our favour. There'll be more frenzy if they were leading or losing. This is nice at 1-2. This is ball back. This is Ryan Leonard. Cuffed in there. That's a little flick header on from Ivanovic. Going to go for a goal kick. So, yeah, still work to be done in the second half to secure this very, very important win. It will make us third in the table and give us home advantage in the second leg against take any pick of Wrexham, Hull or Derby, depending on their results. No mean achievement for Millwall. The biggest achievement in 25 years, if that comes to pass, listeners. There's half-time. Lions lead it 1-0 at the break, dear listeners. Stay tuned.
You tell yourself, no one wants your college-era band tees. But on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love, with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments, a new Hulu original series from the executive producers of The Handmaid's Tale.
It's easier to accept a story than believe that the people around you are monsters.
The battle isn't over.
There comes a time when you have to take action, when you have to choose your own destiny.
Never quite as it seems. Watch the new Hulu original series, The Testaments, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Achtung, Millwall.
Well, teams are out for the second half, dear listeners. Half-time news wasn't all that exciting. 2-0 lead for Ipswich at home to Queen's Park Rangers. I kind of expected that, if I'm honest with you. I didn't expect QPR to bring much to the party, but As it stands, the table, I was just looking at the chap next to me, got some reception on his mobile phone. It looks like Mill versus Derby in the playoffs, which will be next Friday, next Monday. It's going to be Casper to Denor that will kick us off for the second half. Lions will be attacking the Coldblow Lane end of the ground. I mean, Mill dominant in that first half. Nervy game, of course. I think a 2-0 lead for Ipswich is not going to be something that QPR will be in the mood to try and overcome. So this will be mostly about getting a second comfort blanket goal and then seeing it through, ready for playoff football. Avoiding injury would be my main priority. Get this job done this afternoon and then get everyone as healthy as possible for a potential double header against Derby County. This is Negley trying to find Sturge overlapping on the left side. He's gone for a left side throw-in. I did wonder about the score. I had no reception on my mobile phone at all, listeners. But the mood did seem to go into a bit of a lull, extended lull in that first half. A little ball from Kramer. That's going to be overcooked for Ryan Leonard to get to on the right side. So I think the task now is, as I've said, wrap up the 3 points here, get through it. Minimal bookings, minimal injuries, and on to the playoffs, dear listeners. That's quite something. And of course, Derby County, we do have some history within the playoffs, the Championship playoffs in the past, but I won't dwell on that. This is Barry Bannon. Lovely little dinky ball into. There's 2-0. Ball across from Sturge, fired in the far post by Femi Aziz. Beautiful ball in from Barry Bannon there, dear listeners. That was a quality pass. 2-0. That should be game, set and match here for now from Millwall. Lovely goal. Fired in at the far post from a left side ball from Zach Sturge. Ball falls to Camille Negley on the left side. He's played well this afternoon for me, listeners. Some beautiful touches, some skill and technique on occasions. A lovely little ball inside for Casper Denor's shot. I think that was tipped over. No goal kick given. Kind of a swirling shot. I thought the goalkeeper might have got a fingertip to it, but it's gone over. Goal kick. Nice effort though, Casper Denor. Lovely little back heel there from Aziz to Denor. Beautiful take and turn. Femi Aziz, the party pieces are coming out now, listeners. This is shot on target from Negley. It's Zach Sturge. Looks like Ballo into the side netting. I just want to give a shout out to Phil Clark's organisation of the Lions Food Hub Cup matches, supporters games at the Den. Do check him out on Twitter, Phil Clark. But there's a Lions Food Hub Cup match on the 15th of May. I think this is over 40s, listeners. It's a 6:15 for 6:30 kick-off at the Den. Your chance to take part in a on the full pitch, presuming any of it remains after the playoff game. Always well organised by Phil. I want to say a big shout out to Phil Clark. I'll stick a link to Phil's Twitter account in the show notes if you're interested in taking part in that. There's 2 games, one for under 40s and one for over 50s. And the takings are on behalf from memory of the Lions Food Hub, obviously, as I've just mentioned, but also Dementia UK, I believe, is the other beneficiary. So well done, Phil. They're always good events. And if you're interested, I'll stick a link in the show notes, or check him out on Twitter, Phil Clark, with an E. Any air that was in the Oxford tyres has been well and truly deflated by that second goal. League One beckons for them as the crowd have sung to them in variations across the whole game. It's taken quickly on the right side. This is now Bannon. This is Negley. Floated in from the right to Negley. That's behind everyone. It's gone for a goal kick. So yeah, playoff football, huge achievement. Last championship playoff games that we've had, obviously, was the Birmingham home and away leg, 1 all away at Birmingham, and then obviously infamously Stern John the last minute here at the Den, 1-0. That was in 2004. Casper Denor is going to come out. Billy Mitchell's coming in. This is going to be about rotation of players now, I think, listeners. Prior to that, obviously I'm excluding the League One playoffs. We're talking championship level. We made it in 1993-94, which coincidentally perhaps we'll see how this afternoon finishes, but that was a double header against Derby. That was, we lost away, I can't remember the score, but we certainly lost at home here 3-1 on a dark night of disgrace for the mayhem for the club. And then back in the early 90s, back at the old Coldblow Lane, we played Brighton over 2 legs. I think Mick McCarthy changed tactics entirely, went to a 5-man defence or some nonsense like that when we played 4 all season. We lost at Brighton and lost at home from memory. So it's been it's only in recent years that we've had success against the League One level anyway, against Swindon and then Bradford in 2017. Generally speaking, the playoffs have been traumatic events. This is the minutes of applause. I think it's Kevin Hughes, a fan, passed away recently. Comedy cuts there. Jake just put the ball straight into touch. Then the Oxford player did a foul throw to give it back to us. It's kind of afternoon it is, listeners. Yeah, don't forget Keir Starmer. Cundall's coming to the play as well, listeners. I imagine Bannon's still out there. Oh, that must have been the Denor substitution. Missed that. Professional level podcast you're listening to here, listeners. Femi on the right. Ball in from Femi Aziz into the middle. It's clipped away. Oh, a little volley shot from Ryan Leonard. Cheeky little dink into the near post. Goalkeeper just got down to it. So presuming that all stays as it does, we're on course to finish in 3rd position in the Championship, which will, I believe, be our highest placing since the early 1990s. I believe we finished 3rd in 93-94, or did we? I'd have to check that one. We finished 4th, I think, in 2001-2. I'll have to check these, but I think it's one of the highest places. Just settle for that since the promotion season of 1988-89, where of course we finished as champions. So that's a huge achievement by this squad of players, and I think it needs to be recognised properly. Just over halfway through the second half. We are 68 minutes, 69 minutes. Obviously the deflating news that Ipswich are leading 2-0 has taken away the buzz of excitement, but it's been a pretty comfortable game overall. Once Millwall went 1-0 up, particularly for a nervous first half, but now second goal in the start of the second half has really taken any sting out of the match. And the Lions is looking just to knock it around, doing it quite well actually, passing the ball with some pizzazz. Alfie Downes has crept into the game unannounced, listeners. I've just noticed him over on the far left side. I'm drifting away in a summer idyll here in the den. Flag's just gently fluttering now. A very slight gentle breeze. And an air of quiet contentment around the place, rather than frenzied excitement that we had at the start of the proceedings. Lovely ball forwards. This is Billy Mitchell collecting. Man on the left side. This is Negley. Doughty. Ball into the middle. It beats everybody. It's just got away from Aziz on the right side there as well. Lovely little run in, Ryan Leonard. Entree Will Smallbone, listeners. Aziz coming out, good applause. Man of the match between him and Negley for me. Got that crucial first goal. Probably tips the nod to Femi for me for man of the match, listeners, for that reason alone. Got both goals. I'm talking about man of the match. One comment that Alex Neil did make in his little speech at the awards dinner was the contribution of the whole squad. That would include the likes, obviously, of Will Smallbone. No matter how small a role we might think as fans they've played, Alex Neil sees a bigger picture, and he particularly wanted to stress that it was a whole squad effort this season. I go along with that. Even Idemo Marku, who's out there playing for Oxford this afternoon, I haven't really mentioned him at all. I liked Idemo. He contributed some good goals for us, which has helped to get us to this position. Bannon spreads the play beautifully. It's Alfie Doughty on the left side. His ball into the middle, just in front of Mihailo there. 75 minutes. So yeah, it's a collective thing. This is Idemo now on the left side for Oxford. Floats a ball forwards. Oh, it's fended out somehow by Anthony Patterson. The ball across the face to the goal. That was onto the post. Wow. Little moment of opportunity there for Oxford out of nothing, really. Falls to Macaulay Langstaff. Still on the break here. He's got Negley overlapping him. What are we on? 83 minutes? He's just got away from Negley, unfortunately. That was a moment there. Patterson seemed to flounder at it, keep it out, but also it touched the post.
Today's man of the match, chosen by sponsors joining the commercial vehicles, is Barry Banham.
Barry Banham, well, not a bad choice. Not sure it would have been my choice, but, you know, not knocking Barry Banham for that. Wembley's looking forward to that, listeners, don't you? What can we make of this performance? I mean, it's routine once the first goal went in the first half. That was a huge reliever. Obviously, events elsewhere have taken some of the frenzy out of the events this afternoon, but it's been a routine win for the Lions. Couldn't do much more than that. We've had opportunities. We've sailed a little close to the wind, with Oxford having moments, but overall, pretty good win for the Lions. I would take Femi as my man of the match, but the in-stadium choice was Barry Bannon, who I thought did very well as well, so won't argue with that. On to the playoffs, dear listeners. Blimey O'Reilly, this is a little move here. Billy finds now Negley on the right side. It's 3 minutes in. That's a poor ball from Negley there, straight into the shin of the man accompanying him. Overall, what a squad, what an achievement. Playoff football, first time in 25 years. There's the final whistle. A couple of kids run on the pitch. Nothing more than that, listeners. One or two look too old for this kind of business. There it is. It finishes 2-0 Millwall. Routine, as I've said. And that leaves us with playoff football. We're back after these messages.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on, or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Achtung, Millwall.
Welcome back, dear listeners. So it's the playoffs. A strange day, as Alex Neil said in his post-match conference, where you can be both feeling brilliant and disappointed all in one emotion, but very Millwall situation. Joining me to chew over the cut of yesterday's routine, for me, win 2-0 over Oxford United is a welcome back guest. It's Laurence Downes. How are you, Laurence?
Thanks for having me back on. Yeah, obviously last I was here was Charlton. That was a good day.
It was really Charlton. Yeah, that's right.
When you come down, I was really hoping for a repeat of that in coming on here. But look, honestly, couldn't really. I mean, I could be happier, obviously, with a promotion, but look, it was what a season. I keep saying throughout, enjoy it, and I've got to try and keep with that mentality, even going into the playoffs now. let's enjoy it when we're 25 years last year.
Well, we came so close to automatic promotion, and that is, as the boss just said, or said yesterday rather. It was a massive achievement, and obviously to miss out on that feels slightly. He said he would have been more delighted if we'd have. He's delighted, but he would have been more delighted if we'd have made it. But we didn't control the outcome, Laurence. I mean, I never fancied it. QPR do anything at Ipswich. I don't know about you. I just didn't see anything in that side when they played us the other week. Let alone go to a team that needed a win and have shown enough in them to stretch it. They were 2-0 up in 10 minutes, and that took a lot of the energy out of yesterday in the end. It was a brilliant start, but it went flat after that, didn't it?
It did, and look, I mean, you couldn't have asked for it worse. I mean, they scored an own goal in about 30 seconds. We sit there going,
QPR all over. QPR
it is. They that term on the beach already. Jesus,
yeah.
They certainly were. And I wasn't expecting much, but you're just hoping they don't concede 1 in 10 minutes or 2. You think the longer it goes on, even at 1-0 or 1 goal behind, you never know. But 2-0, it sucked it right out of it. But we can only do what we can control. Obviously,
and we did it. We did it. That's all we could do was win the game, which we did with ease. I mean, it felt more like a friendly or a training routine by the last chunk of the second half. Though that said, Oxford did have a couple of moments. It's the only thing that left me slightly, not about unsettled, but it left me slightly, itchy and scratchy. They had a chance in the first half. They put high over the bar, and then of course they had that moment where the ball got touched onto the post. But in the second half, but that isn't the story of the games. It was really Millwall all the way. We had loads of chances. In fact, Alex Neil said that he was disappointed we didn't score more goals. I think that's been a bit of a feature of our season, really, Laurence. I mean, things might have been different if we scored more goals, mate, weren't they?
Well, Well, I mean, it's hard.
Go round in circles.
We have been, I suppose, we've certainly been lacklustre in terms of creative this year. Generally speaking, years gone by under different managers, you could say, "Cool, we don't create much, and we are nicking goals here and there." So many games, we had 20+ shots yesterday, I think. And against Birmingham, we battered them. There's been a number of games where we've really turned teams over, and that's not really saying I've seen for many years at this level. So. But then other than Coventry and maybe you could say Ipswich and Southampton, no one's really blown away teams 5-4 goals many times. So I still think it's relative to where we are in the league,
And we've got to play with the resources that we have available. I mean, I like Ivanovic, who started yesterday. Coburn clearly being rested for the playoffs. I think that was a point that Alex Neil said it wasn't worth risking Josh Coburn yesterday. So he's getting back towards fitness. Hopefully he'll be at Hull on Friday night for the first leg of the playoff semi-final. But, we just do lack a certain ruthlessness in front of goal. Although that said, it was a beautiful opening goal by Femi Aziz, who's been a revelation this season for me, Laurence, down that wing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things on that. I mean, the fact I was watching it with, I wasn't able to actually get a ticket. It's unbelievable. And there's a waiting list down at Millwall. But
I know. Have you ever known that?
Unbelievable. So I couldn't get but I was watching it with a friend of mine who's not a Millwall fan, but supports a Premier League team. And when he says play it from out the back, tight areas, count out and score, he said, "Hang about, it's just Millwall we're watching here." But there's some diagonal long balls up to Steve Morrison, what he's expecting.
Where's that gone?
He's like, honestly, you're losing your style. But Ivanovic is a good finisher. But I think we said this in the last one. Coburn, he will miss a chance like the Charlton one. He'll miss a couple. General hold-up play, bringing people in, he makes the team better. He makes us more.
And the physicality that you've got to take into this level of football. And I'm not going to knock Mihailo because that goal was a beautiful ball down the left side. Was it Barry Bannon played the ball forwards, I think? A Ballo?
I think Negley played it into Ivanovic. I can't remember who played it. Negley played it into Ivanovic. And this was where, the physical, he held the ball up well.
Yeah, and spread it.
And so I can't complain. You said you can't complain. No. He made it good, but that's what we want to see more of. Now, he wasn't under much pressure, but, that's what we want to see from him.
Because beautiful finish on the end of it. So he was part of a beautiful move. So he's just not a target man striker, and that's very much what we need up front. I'm really hoping that Josh is fit. Yeah. It's going to be a huge night. I've just bought myself a ticket online for the Friday night game, and obviously
the Monday game is on sale now, listeners, so move fast if you've got the ability. I think that's going to be another sellout, as we've had so many of them. And that, so they're 1-0, and you're never entirely comfortable with a slender 1-goal lead, Laurence, are you? But it was settled pretty much straight after half time with that second. Again, a double for Demi. Nice finish actually for that move in the second half.
It was another good. It's good to see him. We need him to be on form along with a couple of others going into these games. But what was nice was Barry Banham. I think that's the first time properly I've seen him. What I kind of hoped we'd see when we signed him yesterday.
Yeah.
He orchestrated it. I mean, he can still move for his age and his little legs.
Can't he? Yeah. I mean, he made a late run back. And I said to the bloke next to me, I said, "Blind, that bloke's 36 years old and he's chasing hard to close down move for Oxford, but he's still closing it down." So hats off to the bloke. I mean, honestly, he's a specimen in fitness terms,
He is, but it's what, with that passing through the lines, cutting through. Sometimes we can struggle with that. He can find that pass and done it a number of times yesterday, where he just all of a sudden opens it up for us. I just think against some teams, maybe he wants like a Billy and a Casper because they're the work rate rather than the ball playing. So it's a hard. I wouldn't want to be Alex Neil. It really is a tough call at times as to who to play and why.
I was listening to a recording of the post-match press conference, listeners, and one journalist, I don't know which journalist it was, he sounded like a young bloke. So all I can tell you is he sounded like a young guy asking why Barry Bannon hasn't seen more minutes, and Alex Neil quite quickly cut him short with it because I decide the team. So, fair enough. And but I did get a sense that he saw yesterday as against Oxford, who were relegated, and they weren't brilliant. But I think he saw it yesterday as an opportunity for Barry Bannon to probably show what he can do, which is to pass the ball so accurately and control a game from midfield. Whether we'll see him in the playoffs, I don't know. I think if Mitchell's fit enough, I think he'll start Dinora and Mitchell Friday night. Personally, I don't know how you see it, Laurence.
Yeah, totally agree. Because Hull are a physical team. We know this. Yeah. They're going to make it scrappy, but they're still pressing them horrible areas in the middle. And I don't know how much of the ball we'll have. He's not like Oxford. They're not going to sit in like an Oxford.
No.
So we probably want the legs for cover there, like a Sacco or a Billy with Denor, whoever's fit.
Yeah.
I mean, a few people going, we'll turn this mob over. They've only won 1 in 7. We didn't. We typically don't do well, in my memory, against Hull anyway. The first half away, they battered us. We somehow come away with a win. I still think it's going to be a really tough fixture, not as easy as some might make.
Well, I've got a spoiler alert sent to me just before you and me started recording, Laurence, from our regular correspondent Rob Woodford, who's a club historian. As he says, the historian in him has to let us all know, as a spoiler alert, that we've never won a playoff semi-final tie at this level in 6 attempts. At Championship level, our best ever result was a 1-1 draw at Birmingham back in 2001-2. Other than that, we've got beat 5 times.
Jimmy.
Yeah, cheers. I said cheers, Rob. But we have to be. We like to be open on this show.
We wouldn't be like Millwall fans if there wasn't that pessimism. I think we need it to just soften the blow of what we were never going to win it. See, look.
No. And that said, we do have in Alex Neil a manager that has achieved success on repeat occasions in playoff football. And I think, as you've just said, I think he knows what he's going to get at Hull City. And it suited us across the season, really, Laurence, to adopt that style of sitting back, absorbing, and then hitting on a counter. We've seen it. One that springs to mind is Bristol City, where we went there, and again, same kind of, we won it 2-1 there against the odds, perhaps, but it's a certain style to soak up the pressure and hit on the counter. And I think that's probably going to be what we see up there at what's it called, MKM Stadium. So fingers crossed for Friday night, mate. It's going to be a big game, isn't it?
Massive. I mean, at the moment, I'm not nervous. I'm sort of still trying to go with that train that I keep saying. I know.
I think my nerves yesterday before the game.
I'm trying to be all pragmatic. No, look, it's an attempt. We've got 3 games to play and enjoy it. Typical like a footballer's response. As soon as we get to Thursday, then creep to Friday, that beer will be shaking and halfway, being poured all over the floor. Drinking it.
Someone said to me that yesterday was the biggest game in certainly recent Millwall history, and it was in the sense that we had to win, but of course we weren't the masters of our own destiny because, as it turned out, Ipswich could overturn us. I do think now the trip to Hull and then the return leg on Monday night at the Den, they are the biggest games in recent Millwall history, and managing the nerves and the what should we call it? Should we call it hysteria, Laurence? That kind of comes with this kind of occasion at the Den is going to be the thing, isn't it? I made a joke. I went to the awards dinner in a week, and on the way out, I made a joke. I've said this already. I apologise for repeating myself. It's my age, listeners. But I said that last 2 playoffs I've been to championship level ended in riot. We could do without that.
I said this. My old man said to me, "When you go into the home leg," I went, "Oh yeah, we're getting a ticket." He went, "Well, be careful. Remember what happened 25 years ago and the one before that? He went, half of Bermondsey London Bridge was burning down."
I was just thankful we weren't Derby again. I thought, here we go. They're in the frame at one point. Bloke next to me had a as it stands table, and there's Derby County sitting in 6th spot. I thought, oh Jesus Christ, we can't do that again.
I think the players, even at full time, they didn't look that dejected, which was good. They still was like, no, I've got that feeling of we're in the playoffs. Come on, we've just battered this mob. There was a sense of not too much dejection, which was good. I mean, I wanted to ask you, obviously, a lot of hysteria and people saying about Ipswich. Would you think it was Ipswich getting a lot of penalties, getting the rub of the green, everyone and this, or do you think? Look, I think we just, the Blackburn red card. I think we just unfortunately didn't quite make it on our terms.
It's nice, and I find that the modern world does this a lot, Laurence, that it's really comforting to think there's somebody in control that's running some big kind of scheme against you, and you hear it not just in football, but in all sorts of directions. Oh, there's some, it implies there's someone in charge clever enough to organise on a grand scale against you. And if you've ever tried to organise anything, I don't know any listeners have, the chance of keeping it quiet are zero. You'd get to hear if there was truly a worldwide conspiracy against Millwall Football Club. I think it's just more that referees probably don't give decisions to us because the Den is what it is. It is a hard-edged, hostile environment. The team have a reflected reputation. I don't think we're a particularly dirty team, but Jake Cooper is seen as a giant. Therefore, whatever he does is going to be inherently evil, and therefore gets a yellow card. Same across the whole, and the other teams are, by nature of the way the world is, they are naturally saints, and they can't do any wrong where we can. And I think it's more that. I don't think there's a direct FA organised Sky TV plot.
Illuminati conspiracy to keep them down.
I would want to be in that meeting room. I would want to be the fly on the wall listening into you give a penalty at Ipswich and you get fine. Give them an easy shot or goal, it's a nice comforting thought, but I don't think so. I just think we don't always get the rub of the green, especially at the Dens. I think referees come out trying to prove they're not going to be swayed by the home crowd, because that's a real thing. And if we can bully them, we probably would do. So, it goes round in circles.
You're not wrong. No. Still a worry for me a little bit. We're going in with playoffs. You don't, again, maybe it's more of a comforting thought. You don't want to see these refs that we so often do costing us. But like Jake Cooper being jumped on by 6 players, but getting the foul given against him and they go up the other end. All this sort of stuff that we're so used to at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we won't have any friends out there, that's for sure. I found it quite odd, actually, in the last recent days, how much attention we're attracting from the media. And I have a personal guide meter, Laurence, as to how much Millwall's attention is going up by the amount of OnlyFans private messages I seem to be getting on X. I get requests to talk to me from some OnlyFans account. I've had about half a dozen of them.
Really?
I've got to save me money up to go up not spend it on looking at that. I've got to go the whole. And I think there's a measure of the fact we're starting to acquire attention around the social media scene.
It is. I mean, I don't know if you saw Sky Sports. This just shows how we're perceived. They put on as the highlights to it, Millwall doomed to the playoffs. I'll be honest, if that's what V class is doomed for us, he clearly has not been involved with this club for very long.
Well, absolutely. And you got like surreal articles. I couldn't access it because you don't get much reception in the Den on the phone. But there was, Troy Deeney in the Sun was saying he wanted Millwall to win through and get into the Premier League to liven it up. I thought, well, this has come to something when our arch enemy wants us to succeed. What's going on in the world?
It's a strange one. We don't like it We want to be hated. We want to be bitterly hated. It's weird for people to be complimenting us. We don't know how to react.
No, we don't. I think psychologically we don't really know what to do with that praise. So we'll see. We'll see how Friday night goes, mate. What's your predictions? What are you seeing over 2 legs versus Hull City? Is a chance to call it? How do you see it going? I think we should win. I think we should prevail over 2 legs versus Hull.
I do. Do you know what's funny? I've got a weird feeling. You know, you go up there, get a draw if we can on Nick Saturday, and then come back and batter them at the Den. I have a weird feeling it could be we go up there and nick it by a goal or so there. Yeah. And maybe a nervy draw at our place that we go through.
That's the likeliest outcome for me. Yeah, I think we've become past masters of, and we were top of the away league table. If you know, obviously it's the overall one that counts. But you know, I've never known anything like that where we've become such a difficult team to beat away from home. I mean, the past doesn't relate to the future, so we don't really know how we're going to do up there. But I do fancy us to get something there, and then endure a torrid night of high tension at the Den.
Yeah, I'm
not looking forward to somehow, Laurence. You know, I know how these things go.
No, that's it. You're dead right. I think it will be a really nervy affair. We just got to hope the fans, and it's hard for all of us there. We've got to try and just be positive, like the Huddersfield game of the past, the Everton atmosphere. Yeah. I know it's difficult especially if you're in the lead, but we've got to try and get that atmosphere. Because at times, for whatever reason, recently hasn't quite been like that, and it should be. But you know, and I'm not criticising our fan by any stretch. And it might be I don't know, but you'd think at times it would have been that sort of atmosphere of the Leeds, even Norwich City. I remember many years ago with Tony Craig, it was absolutely electric. But
atmosphere yesterday at the start of the game was pretty good. I mean, it was I thought it was pretty loud in the Den. I think what didn't help was the deflation of an early goal for Ipswich, and then after that, you could just sense a drop off of the energy all around. I don't blame tourism, and I don't blame we 10,000 Mill fans can sound like 20,000. So I just think it's nerves. I think people get close to success, and it's a very strange beast at the Den, isn't it? You know, the idea that we could get into the Premier League is so remote. We're fundamentally a cup tie side, Laurence, aren't we? We like big one-off moments. We're not really geared up for the long haul of a league season with success at the end of it. You know.
No, I think it's a worry that this is our chance. We won't get another one for God knows how long. And there's that nervousness. At least in my head, I've sort of like, this is our chance. We might lose a few players. Other big teams might do better next year, all with some buts. But ultimately, I'm in my late 30s. Other than the famous one 25 years ago, I've never seen anything like this. I don't want it to end.
Always nervous events. I'll tell you that for nothing, mate.
Cheers, mate. Cheer me up, mate.
Cheered you up no end. Everyone will be saying thank God for tuning in to Achtung Millwall. It was interesting listening to the press conference. Alex Neil said that they're going to have players will have a day off. They're going to be training today. Day off today, training Monday, day off Tuesday, 2 days of training Wednesday, Thursday, and then match day Friday. So I think they said they had two plans, depending whether we're playing Friday or Saturday. I think it's Saturday lunchtime, but we're playing on the Friday night. So clearly they've planned ahead for this, and I think the strong hope is that Coburn didn't risk at all in the squad yesterday. Will be ready for Friday, so that's got to be everyone's hope. I don't know about Caleb Taylor though. He came on the pitch to get his award for best goal, but he's still wearing one of those protective boot things with crutches. So I just can't see him featuring.
No,
certainly in the 2 legs anyway. Put it that way.
Big miss, big miss, Caleb. I mean, Crammer is a centre half by nature, and he's good. But I honestly, a controversial point here, but centre half, from what I've seen, Taylor's better. More solid.
I agree, and I think we've looked a little bit without overcooking it, a little bit nervy since Taylor's not featured in that central area. There we are. We've got to make do with what we've got to make. I just want to give a shout out to Ryan Leonard, who's come into the team, filling a role that obviously Kramer's made his own. But I think he did really well yesterday.
Paolo Di Canio, little volley at the end that he done. The little scissor kick volley. What's going on when Ryan Leonard at 35 is doing a Paolo Di Canio nearly scoring? I mean,
well,
maybe the kids on our side.
I thought some of the technique and some of the flicks shown, especially by Camille Negley yesterday, I think is a brilliant player. But Alex Neil said he don't like that. He wants straight down the line percentage football. He said, I know that fans like all the fripperies, but he don't like it. So whether we'll see any fripperies at Hull, I somehow doubt. But
no, you can't.
I quite like it.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, we saw a Rabona from him the other week. Most people thought that meant something very differently because we'd never seen it down the Den, But I think you can't quell a player like that. If you try and restrict him, it's not going to. That's just his game. I mean, when he's confident, that's what we love to see. And Femi needed, he was at his best yesterday.
I think in the stadium, they made man of the match. It was in the stadium. It was Barry Bannon, which I thought was, I won't argue with it, but I thought it was Femi Aziz yesterday for me. 2 goals and always a danger. But I've always been really impressed recently by Camille Negley. I just think he's come on such a long way as a player. So
we're on form players, and we just have to hope it carries on. I'd said at the start of this, I'm feeling quite confident now. I've just had this 20-minute chat with you. I'm now very nervous. That has completely gone south. I'm now absolutely bricking it. So,
when I was a housing officer, listeners, I once dealt with a complaint. A woman complained the next door neighbour she wasn't the full shilling. This woman was a psychic vampire sucking your energy, your life force through the walls of this flat to the next door flat. And I feel that's what I've done to you, Laurence. A psychic vampire. Yeah, enthusiasm out.
Yeah, I was going to say, absolute pessimist is well and truly back in force now. The less enjoy this season, well gone. I can tell you, wrecked for the next 5 days.
Fantastic. Fingers crossed for Friday night. Really appreciate your time Sunday morning. Laurence Downes. Big thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Who do you want to watch?
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.